Hi, I'm Mitra Sorrells in the PhocusWire Studio at Phocuswright Europe, and I am joined by Maxim Sevastianov, founder and CEO of Trava. Welcome.
Thank you, Mitra. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Why don't you start by just telling us a little bit about Trava and why you started the company?
Right. So the Trava actually is a rebranding. We started as a Travanology, and today we actually announced that we're being called Trava. Simple name, easy to remember, easier to spell. But the whole story behind is that I come from a travel agency background. I used to, back in the 90s, sit and sell travel like a regular travel agent with a bit of a technology, some interest for technology. That's what I had. So at one point, we started a company where we worked with loading negotiated fares into the databases. And one thing led to another. Quite a few years ago, 2000 something, 12, 13, we got contacted by one of the customers who actually needed to automate things because the OTAs, that's when it started to progress quite a lot. And the first problem was how to get the bookings. And when the meta channels started to come into the business, that's when they suddenly received a lot of bookings. And the next problem was what to do with all the bookings. So we came into it and started to build automation. Quite early in the process, we realized that you cannot just build automation and let it be there. You need to be able to configure, modify, to manage the process, and it's always alive. It never stays the same. So we kind of redesigned the whole thing and decided to let the customer be in control of it. So we built a system where we allow customer to pretty much create and manage their own processes. And that's when it started. And then also realized that it's not only this travel agency. It's a universal problem. For everyone, especially when you start getting multi-channel bookings for different GDSs and things like that. So that's kind of how it comes.
And give me a sense of the scope of your customers then, what types and where geographically are they concentrated?
Right. So I would say we started with the online travel agencies, the OTAs, but a booking is a booking. It applies just as much to the corporate travel agencies, the TMCs, and of course, just the regular leisure travel agencies. In terms of geography, it really doesn't matter. A booking is a booking and it can be processed anywhere in the world. It's pretty much the same. Okay. However, of course, there are some variations and you have to adapt to each market individually. There is no geographical limitation where this can be applied.
Okay.
Most of the customers are in Europe and North America. We have some in South Africa and Middle East as well. Okay.
So talk to me a bit more about some of the challenges then that the resellers are facing as far as digitalizing their operations.
Right. There are several. I would say one of the main ones, they're just so used to the processes that they had all the time before getting online, before having the volume. So they had certain processes in place that are very, very difficult for them to replace. Yeah. That's one big challenge, I would say. People are just used to doing things a certain way, and it's difficult to change the mindset. That's kind of a battle that we always go through. We have to change the mindset. It takes time. A lot of different departments need to be involved. The bigger the agency, the longer time it takes. They have to coordinate between the departments, between the people. They have to consider everyone's interest, and that's pretty much what it is. It's the mindset, and it's also a lot of different systems behind that they need to make sure that they communicate with each other.
And how is what you're offering different than what can be offered through the GDS?
GDSs have a certain functionality related to post-booking operations. This is what we do. We automate the post-booking operations. However, it's not their core business. Okay. Their core business is to actually create the bookings. Whatever happens post-booking, they have to do it, but it's not a core business. So they don't put all that much focus to it. And I would say that one big thing as well is that once you use the GDS solution, you can only do it for that GDS. If you use multi-GDSs, and which is the case with most of our customers, you would have to apply several solutions. Whereas we bring one solution that covers all the GDSs. It's a multi-channel GDS agnostic solution, which is also an advantage.
And what about, when we talk about digitalizing, of course, particularly it seems like today with a lot of the uncertainty and some of the disruptions in travel and things, that personal service is really also very critical to travelers. They need a lot of reassurance and assistance. What about the balance there?
It's a good thing that you said balance, because you have to find a balance. Because you have certain travel agencies that concentrate on giving that personal service. They book things manually, they provide the manual service, and that's what some people want. And they're ready to pay for that as well. Others would like to have a cheaper fare, and they would just they can help themselves, really. So they don't need the hand holding. They would rather pay less and do things on their own. So you have to find the balance. So even for the large ones, when you automate things, you still have to make it as personal as possible. So, and this is really what we try to apply the technology to personalize it. Even though it's all made automatically, you still have to kind of make it look like as if a person isn't, person is important, but you personalize it as much as possible. And you, of course, put the control in the hand of a customer. You let them help themselves.
Yeah, I think that's certainly very important nowadays.
That's very important.
Yeah.
So it's finding the balance. It's exactly what you're saying, finding the balance.
Okay, wonderful. Well, Maxim, thank you so much for telling us a bit more about Trava.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Right. Thank you.